Hi everyone. In last sessions, what we discussed, we started the our Docker series. So in this Docker series, already we completed some few points like what is the application architecture, then what type of the tech stack, then we discussed the what type of the real-time environment whenever we developing of the project. So and after that we discussed the what is the Docker and we discussed the Docker with live and Docker without live. So already we know that if we have the Docker in our project, then it is a very easy to deployment to our application. If we are not having the Docker in our application, then it is a very difficult to deployment our application because we need to the set up for the dependencies, then whatever we require the software to execution our code. So at that time, we have to add the manually. Instead of that, we can we can write the all whatever we require the softwares, whatever we require the configuration, whatever we require the versions, we can mention in our Docker file and we can execute our application code on different machine because in real time we know that we have the different environment because in that environment we need to the run our application, we need to the execute our application code. So that time we need to the set up for all required software, all required dependencies because we are executing of the our application code on multiple machines. So that's why instead of that manually we can use the Docker. In the Docker we will write it some code, we will write it some Docker file, and we can say call it that this is my configuration to execute our application code. So you need to the execute. So these are the things we have the Docker. In the Docker is nothing but it is an open free source software. Docker used for the containerization because we know that containerization is nothing but in that container we have the packages, our application code, and whatever we require the software to execution our application code. So each and everything will be in our container because we know that. So if we have the structured way container, then we can deliver the material from one point to the another point. So easily we can do it. Same thing, it should not be it should not be impacted in our configuration issue whenever we running of the application to multiple of the machines. So that's why we are using here the Docker. So Docker is nothing but it is an open source tool. So by using of the Docker, we can easily deploy our application and we can easily access multiple machines. And we can say called as a we don't have any issues in particular environment to environment. So that's why we are using the Docker. So Docker is an open source platform for running our application into the container. Container are lightweight, isolated environment that package application and their dependencies. So that's why we have the some benefit by using of the Docker like portability, scalability, consistency, and resources efficiency. So these are the advantages whenever we using of the Docker. So that's why we are using here the Docker. So you can see officially anywhere Docker images. Suppose I'm using the Docker image here. You can see here the officially image also. So this is the shift in that we are structuring all containerization. In that container, we know that whatever we have the application code, dependencies code, each and everything will be presented in our container. And then Docker will be taken care for the execution of our application code. So this is the our Docker. So whenever we're talking about of the Docker is nothing but it is a containerization. So by using of the containerization, easily we can execute our code. So that's why we can call it the Docker. It is a very useful in our application, in our application development. So today we are going to discuss the Docker architecture first. So what is the Docker architecture here? So whenever we're talking about of the Docker architecture here, so first will be Docker file. After that, we will have the Docker images. I will explain each and every point. Then after that, we have the Docker hub, or we can say call it the Docker registry. After that, we have the Docker containerization. So Docker containerization is nothing but multiple VMs here. Okay. So whatever we have the application where we need to install it, Docker, we need to install the our Docker in our virtual machine. So we can say call it the this is my Docker file. So Docker file is nothing but whenever we're talking about of the application execution. Okay. So at that time, what we have to do? We have to write it the tech stack. Suppose I'm developing one Java application, Java application. Then what we required? So we required the Angular 17 version. After that, I required the Angular 18 version, then Java 17 version, and MySQL. So each and every tech stack where we are going to mention in our Docker file. Then after that, who will be taken care it about of the configuration and compatibility machine to machines. So it will be taken care from the our Docker side. So that's why we can call it the we need to the write it the Docker file first. After that, once our Docker file is built, you can see here the this is the we are going to build that Docker file. Then it will be converted into the Docker image. So Docker image is nothing but we can say called as our application code, and whatever we require the dependencies, whatever we require the software which we are going to execute our application code. So each and everything will be packaged in our images. So it will be create a one image. We can say called as a Docker image. Then this Docker image, so I want different versions. So at that time, suppose we created one Docker image, that is we can call it a V1. In future purpose, I want to save that image. Then what we have to do? We have to store that image into the Docker registry. So Docker registry or Docker hub, both are the same. So it is a we can say called as a open source tool. You can see here the Docker hub. So this is the Docker hub official website. So you can log in it. So it's a free source tool. So already I logged in here. So you can see the so I created one repositories here for my images. So you can store it. So anyone can access your images if we are having of the public images. If we are having of the private image, then anyone can access? No, no one can access. Within my organization, whatever we have the privileges, according to the privileges, you can access our Docker image. Otherwise, we cannot access it. So if we have the public visibility here, so anyone can access, anyone can download the Docker images. So that is we can say called as a Docker hub. For future purpose, we are going to store the Docker images. Where we are going to store? We are going to store into the Docker hub, or otherwise we can say called as a Docker registry. Both are the same. We can say called as a hub also. Hub is nothing but it is a repository we are going to store for the future purpose. If I want to get that particular of the images, then what we are going to we can call that images. So we can call that images revert back to my previous version. So it depends on our requirement. But what is the Docker image? Docker image is nothing but suppose whatever we have the tech stack. So whenever we are going to develop the one Java application, I require the four features here. So you can see here the four things we have the whenever we are going to develop the front end, it will be in our Angular 18 version, then backend for the Java 17 version, then databases for the MySQL, and web server is nothing but it is a Tomcat. So where we are going to mention, I want Angular 18 version, we are going to mention in our here. So each and everything, Java also we are going to mention it 17. So in upcoming session, we can learn how to write it the Docker file. So in upcoming session, first, then I require the MySQL. Then who will be take care of the configuration and compatibility issues? It will be taken care from the Docker side. So this is my Java. Suppose if we have the Python development application, then what we have to do? We have to mention same like this in the Docker file. If we have the .NET, same like this for the .NET. So it depends on our tech stack. So we are going to write it our Docker file here. So this is the we created here the Docker file. Then we once we created that Docker file, then we are going to build that Docker file. So we can say call it a, we are going to build that Docker file. After that, what we have to do? So we have to call we have to Docker file convert it into the Docker images. Then once we convert it into the Docker images, so all images will be converted into the containerization. So what is the containerization? Containerization is nothing but we can say call as a it's a my different version machine. So we can say call as a container one, container two. So we can say call as a this is my first container. But whenever we're talking about the container here, so you can consider this is my Windows machine. So we can call it a Win machine. Okay. So we can call it a this is my Linux machine. Okay. After that, we can call it a this is my Mac machine. So each and everything, whatever we have the Docker images, that Docker images we are going to convert it into the containerization. In that container, all machines VM1, VM2, VM3 because each and every machines are in the virtually. So that's why we are going to say called as a all Docker container here. So whatever we have the code, that code we are going to convert it into the Docker images. Then we are going to execute that images, execute our packages. Where we are going to execute, we are going to execute in our Docker container. In that Docker container, we started to the execution. So it is nothing but Docker container is used to the run our application because we started to the execution process here. So what is the first here? Docker file. It is used to the specific where is the our app code, whatever we have the dependencies are required to for my application execution. So each and everything we are going to mention in our Docker file. So in that we need to the mention because how in suppose if we are not mentioning the all text that then how to get to know that Docker file. So it won't get to know that Docker file. So it is a difficult to execution. So that's why we are going to write it the first Docker file here. After that, once build that Docker file, then we are converting it into the that Docker file into the images. Image is nothing but we can say called as a it is a package which contain the application code and dependencies. So that is called as a Docker images. So this is my Docker file. In that Docker file, whatever we required the softwares, we are going to mention into the Docker, and whatever we have the application code, we are going to mention it. So it will be packaged into the here you can see called as a app plus we can say called as a dependencies. So these are the things we can say called as a Docker images. So after that we have the we can say called as a Docker registry. So what is the Docker registry? Docker registry is used to the store the Docker images for future purpose. If I want to revert back that one, so that's why we are going to use here the Docker registry, Docker hub. So after that, we have the Docker container. Docker container is nothing but it is used to the run our applications. So this is our Docker architecture here. We can call it a it is a simple thing. So we have the only four steps here. So whenever we're talking about of the Docker architecture here, so this is the Docker architecture. Any any Docker you can search anywhere, so you will get this like this. Yeah. But whatever we have the Docker file is required to build that Docker images. Suppose if we are not having of the Docker file, then can we build the images? No, we cannot build the images because Docker file is a mandatory for the building the Docker images. After that, When we run the Docker images, the Docker container will be created, because whenever we are executing start to the images, then Docker container will start to the created. So Docker container mostly in the Linux virtual machines. So this is my, you can call it a Windows, Linux, Mac. So you can consider the all of the three machines. So it is a, you can consider for the, this is my dev environment, this is my UAT environment, and this is my pilot environment. So all containers are in the Linux, you can consider. So it won't be impact our configuration whenever we execution our code. So that's why we are using here the Docker. Otherwise, if we are not using of the Docker, then what will be happen here? So it will be happen configuration issue, compatibility issue, because it may be impacted into the particular the machine to the machines. Some application code, whenever we running our application code, it is working as expected in some machines. It is not working as a expected in some machine. So that's why we can say call as a, without Docker, it is a difficult to manage that one, because we need to the debug that one. So that's why we are going to use here the Docker. So Docker is nothing but it is a containerization. So whatever we require the execution, our application code, all dependencies, all software, it who will be taken care it will be taken care from the our Docker side. So this is our application, we can call it the Docker architecture. Let's see setup for the Docker. How we can go with here the Docker setup here. So I want to go with Docker setup here. So first I need a one virtual machine here. Then what we have to do, we are going to say call it the Docker. After that, you can consider the Amazon Linux, any of the machine, you can consider this one. So I'm going to use here the free tier here. After that, I'm going to use here the, this is my key pair value. So I'm going to keep as it is each and everything here. So I'm going to launch here. Sorry, I think we are in the another. Let me change here the Singapore. You can select anywhere. This is my Docker machine name. After that, I'm going to select here the key pair. Second one, key pair. After that, you can see here the, I'm going to keep as it is here the firewall security. Then I'm going to launch my virtual machines here. Once we launch the virtual machine, after that, what we have to do, we have to connect with our machines here. So it will be take some time because it is going to create our machines. So already we know that. So I'm going to that EC2 dashboard here. So it is a running state. Then I'm going to connect with my machines here. But whenever we are going to connect it, so it's easy to, we can use here the first time mobile storm. So why we are going to mobile storm here? So it is easy to connect our, we can easy to load our key pair value. So I think already I have the one machines here. So I'm going to delete these sessions. I'm not using that session. Then what we have to do here? So we have to copy the public IP for my machines here. So I'm going to use here the mobile extra. Already everyone aware about this one. So I'm going to use here the specific username, that is we can say called as the EC2 user. After that, what we have to do here, advanced SH here. I'm going to launch here my private key here. Then what we are going to here, this is my private key. I'm going to use it here. Then you can see here the, it is successfully, we are connected our machines here. Then what we have to do here, so we have to execute some commands here, like whenever we are going to install the Docker. So I will keep here the step by step all steps here. It is easy to installation process. Each and every nodes will be mentioned. I will upload in our GitHub repository, so you can download from that. Okay. So first, what we have to do here. So first, I'm going to use here the sudo yum update y. So already we know that super doing operations here. So I'm going to paste it here for the first command. Let me paste it here. So instead of that, it's better to I write it here. So what we have to do here, sudo super doing operation, then yum, then what we have to, sorry, we have to update, then y. So first, once we done it, then what we have to do here? So we have to install the Docker. After that, it will be take some time. Okay, so you can see the dependency is resolved, nothing to do, complete here. After that, what we have to do here, sudo yum, then install the Docker. Then we are going to see here the, you can say it will be take some time because we are going to install the Docker in my virtual Linux machine. After that, what we have to do, we have to start our services here. So third step is a, we can say called as a sudo service docker, sudo service docker start here. So it will be take some time. We are going to install the Docker first time. So that's why it is taking some time here. So after that, what we have to do, we are going to add here the service, then Docker start. So I'm going to start here the Docker. After that, I'm going to add one EC2 user to my Docker group. So how we can add EC2 user here? User mode. So each we are using here only Linux command. Okay. So this is my group here. Then Docker EC2 user. Where I'm going to add it? So I'm going to add here the add EC2 user to Docker group here. So I'm going to add here the EC2 user. So once we add it, then what we have to do? So next step will be we are going to exit from that machine. So sorry. So once we exit that machine, then we need to the restart our machine here. You can see here the control R. It's nothing but we can say called as a restarted our machines here. So then after that, what we are going to here? So we are going to, I'm going to verify my Docker installation is done or not in my current machine. Then how we can verify here? Docker -v. So you can see here this is the Docker version. So we are successfully installed in our Linux machine. After that, so I want to verify my Docker here already we verified it's working as expected. Then what we are going to see here, our next topic is a Docker command. Whatever we have the steps, what we did here, the installation process. For the Docker installation process, you can see here what are the steps we followed here. So we followed the steps. First one is the sudo yum update y, sudo yum install the docker -y, then sudo services docker start. After that, what we are going to here, add EC2 user to user my Docker group. Then after that, we are going to exit from that terminal and we are again to connect my terminal, again to my connect my machines. And after that, we verified here the my Docker is working or not expected. So this is the we done here. So successfully we install the Docker in our Linux machine here. So next thing here, I want to verify. So first we will see here the Docker commands. First, we are going to see here the few commands we have the and we need to the learn here also. So first one is a Docker image. So first command is a Docker images. So to display the Docker images available in our system. So I want to verify. So how many you can use this mobile storm, otherwise you can connect from the SH client. Already we know that by using of the git bash. So I want to verify how many images in my current Docker. So you can verify here the So you once we use here the once we enter the Docker images command, you can see here the repository tag image ID created size. So each and every here the we don't have any images right now because this is my Docker images. So to display the Docker images available in our system. So if we are added Docker images, then we can see. Otherwise, we cannot see here because we don't have any images right now. So next command is a Docker PS. So what is the Docker PS? Docker PS is nothing but to display the running Docker containers. So you can see here the how many Docker container are running right now. It's a 0 because we don't have any running container. Then, but I want to pull the images. I want to verify once again my Docker working as expected or not. Then we have the one Docker images by default in our Docker. So you can like this Docker run then hello world. So everyone knows whenever we first time learning the any programming, then we need to the write the hello world program. Same like this. Here we have the one images that is called as a hello world. So what we are going to do here right now, we are going to run my images because already we have the Docker file created. Then that Docker file is converted into the hello world images. So Docker run, I want to create a one container. Then what we have to do? So we are going to use here the images, Docker images. So I want to run that Docker images. Then we have to mention Docker run hello world. This is my third command. So you can see here the once we run it. So I think so you can see here the find the images. You can see here the first it is saying find images. Let me see here the pulling from the library hello world. You can see here the we are got up these hello world images from the library. So it is pulling from the Docker side. After that, pull the completed. This is my status. You can see here the hello from Docker side. You can verify here my Docker images are available or not. How we can verify here images? You can see here the hello world. Hello world is nothing but this is my Docker image repository. Where we have the repository, we have the that repository in our Docker registry, Docker hub. So hello world, already we have the images. You can see here the 7th month ago. Why we can see like this? Because this Docker images already created from the Docker side. So that's why it is saying the 7th month ago it is created. After that, you can see here the this is my image ID. Then this is my tag name is latest one, and you can see the this is my size of that image. So I want to check how many Dockers container are running here. Then how we can verify here Docker PS to display the running Docker container. You can see here the Docker container. Can we see here? No, we cannot see here because again I'm going to like this here hello world. You can see here the Ubuntu, try to something ambitious. Here the Docker hello world from that. Okay. I think to display the running Docker container. So it is not showing to. Okay. So leave it. Right now, Docker PS, we will leave it. Okay. So how we can run it? So Docker run and that image name. Suppose I want to delete that Docker container. So whatever we have the Docker container, I want to delete it. Then what we are going to do here? So we are going to use here the docker rm command. Suppose I want to stop the Docker container. Then what we have to do? So we have to go with docker stop command. Suppose I want to start the that container, then docker start we have the command. Suppose I want to delete that images. Then what we have to do? So we are going to use here the let me clear first. So docker images. So you can see the what is my image name here, image ID. This is my image ID. So I want to delete. So just let me copy this one. So I copied. I want to delete this image. Then what we have to do? So we have to RMI, then paste it here. So that image ID we pasted, unable to delete the being of the must be forced. Okay. So that is fine because it is not our daemon is not responding, so it is saying the conflict, so unable to delete that one. Again, we are going to verify here the yes, we can see here the, but I want to forcefully delete that image. Then what we have to going to do here, so deleted the stock container and unused images and build caches, each and everything I want to delete it. Then I'm going to say docker systems, then prune, then -a. So you can see here the warning. This will be removed. All stock container, all networks are not used in the latest one container. All images without at least container associated them. All build caches. Yes, I want to delete it. Each and everything. You can see here the hello world images. Each and every images we are deleted. So you can see here the images. So can we see here the images? No, we cannot see images because forcefully each and everything deleted, stock container, unused images, build caches, each and everything I want to delete it. Then we are going to delete the Docker system prune here. So I want to check the Docker logs. Then what we are to going to do here? Docker log, then container name, container ID. Then we can see the to display the container logs. First, I'm going to again pull that images, run hello world. Suppose I want to pull that image. Pull is nothing but from the Docker hub, I'm going to pull that images. Then what we have to going to do here? So I'm going to say, let's see, it's working or not. I'm not sure. Hello world. So I'm going to pull that image from the Docker registry. So you can see here the using the default, we are pulling that images. Yes, you can see here the what we are going to do here. So we are pulling the hello world images from the Docker registry, Docker hub. So you can see here the Docker images. Can we see here the? Yes, we can see the Docker images. Then I want to check the my containers, how many containers are running. Okay, to display the running the Docker containers, then what we have to do? Docker PS. So you can see here the right now we cannot see any Docker runnings or container because it is a in there is a no running Docker container. So that's why we cannot see here. But I want to display the running plus stock container. Then what we have to do here? So we have to go with Docker ps-a. You can see here the I'm not sure why container. Oh, so this is the default images which is providing from the Docker side. So that's why we cannot see here the running Docker container. So in upcoming sessions, so we are going to pull our repository images, whatever we have in the Docker hub, then we are going to see the how to run it. That already we discussed the how we can run it. Then just we need to see the display the running Docker container because it is a default image. That's why we cannot see here. So how many commands we learn here? You can see here the so PS is nothing but to display the running container. After that, what we learn? After that, I want to show the display the running plus top container. Then we have to go with Docker PS, then -a. After that, I want to pull that, I want to run that image, whatever we have the images to create and run the Docker container. Then what we have to do here? So we have to go with Docker run, then image ID, whatever we have that then we have to create the run. So let's see here the already we pulled that image Docker images. Okay. Then what we have to do here Docker run. Then I'm going to use that image ID. Let's see. Can we see Docker run? Then I'm going to create container or not here. Yes, you can see the hello world from the Docker side. Let me no, we cannot see here. Maybe let me again Docker PS. In upcoming session, we will discuss. Yes, we can see here there is a no running Docker container, but you can see here hello world, this is the stop container, and this is the status. You can see the existing, because once we run it, then you can see the 40 seconds ago we created one container. That container image ID also here. I want to delete that container. Suppose I want to check the log for that container. Then what we have to do here? So we have to copy that ID, then Docker, then logs, then container ID. We need to the mention it. So I'm going to use here the mobile extra, so it is difficult to paste it. So instead of that, you can use the git bash. So it is easy to copy each and everything. So let me verify the it's okay. So you can see the this is my Docker log, container logs. You can see the Docker container logs also. Suppose I want to delete that. Suppose I want to delete that container. So what we have to do here? So Docker rm command. Then we need to the mention the Docker ID also. You can see the this is the we are going to delete it. Let's see. Can we see the stopped container or not here? Can we see the yes? You can see the no. We cannot see the because we deleted the that container because it is in stop state. We deleted here. So I want to pull that images. Then what we have to do? We have to go with pull command. So what we learned command here. So we learned the Docker run. After that, I want to pull that images from the Docker registry hub. Registry you can say, otherwise you can say the hub. After that, I want to run it. We learn. Then after that, I want to delete that container ID, particular ID. Then you can use this command also. We can use here the okay. So after that, I want to stop that container. Then what we have to do? We have to just simple command here. So these commands we should know before going to learn the Docker. So after that, I want to start that container which is in the stop state. Then we can use here the Docker start, then container ID. Then you can see here. Then after that, I want to delete that images. Then you can use the Docker RMI command. So there is a difference here. For the container, it is a RM, and there is an image for we can see here the I. I is nothing but images. Suppose I want to check the log for my container, then we have to go with Docker log. Suppose I want to delete it, stopped container, unused images, and build caches, then we can use here the Docker system prune here also. So you can see here the, and we should know the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So these command we should know, at least 10 command, at least we should know. So in upcoming session, we will learn the how to write it the Docker file. So in upcoming sessions, so we will go with step by step here from basic level to the advanced level. So what commands we learn? So I want to check here the images, then Docker images. You can see here the then I want to run that image. Then we are going to create the Docker container. So we need to the mention here the Docker run. Then we need to the mention the image ID. So you can see here the yes, we run it. So I want to check that stop container. Then you can see here. Suppose I want to run. This is in the stop state. I want to restart again. Then what we have to do here? So we have to go with Docker start. So you can go with Docker start, then container ID, then container ID. So you can see here the yes. I want to check verify Docker is container is started or not here. Then how we can verify Docker yes. You can see the no. I think we cannot see here. Let's see in upcoming session we can see. Okay. So if you want to stop, then we can go with stop. Then if you want to delete that images, then Docker RMI here, then you can delete it. Suppose I want to delete each and everything here, then you can go with docker system prune, then -a. Then you can delete each and everything here. So you can see the deleted images, untagged hello world, latest one, then hello world, each and everything we deleted here. You can see the, can we see the images? No, we cannot see the images. So that's it for today. In upcoming session, we will start our next topic. Thank you guys.